really need this light overhead. It just makes us all
right, turn it off and then start.
bright and pink. Well, we don't have to start over. This is the Yarn Closet from Tucson, Arizona. I'm Laura, and
I'm
this
Kitty.
is my mom, Kitty.
Wait a minute.
It's Yarn Closet AZ
Wait a minute, I got my light closet.
on Instagram and Ravelry. Your Moggy Kitty on Ravelry. And we're going to turn this just a little bit. So there, see, we're fine.
Yeah. Moggy Kitty.
We have a webpage called The Yarn Closet, and you can go there for different links to like Growly Bear Soap Company here in Arizona that does all natural products. They are one of our sponsors. If you win a prize from us, you'll get something in your prize from them.
What kind of products do they make?
Oh, knock it off.
Bugging her right away. Go ahead.
Chapstick, foot balm, body balm, soaps, Growly Bear Soap Company. We tend to hand out the foot cream, the chapstick, and
It's not chapstick, it's lip balm.
whatever. And
I want her to
body
say-
balm. I can't. I live with this too much already. We did a preview last week, and we had problems. Initially, we recorded through YouTube, and our sound was horrendous. So we will not be doing that again. And then we have a podiversary coming up next month. And thank you to the Canadian Crocheter for mentioning us, because we have skyrocketed up to 400 subscribers, which is fabulous. We are still holding strong at our 4 Patreons. And the more support we can get on Patreon, then we're going to do more tutorial videos together, if we can manage to get through that and have some more content available in that regard. I'm having a moment. It's hot, it's the afternoon. We ended up rushing to do this all of a sudden Monday afternoon because our week is crazy. And
And you know who else did a shout out for us?
who?
Rosie in also Canada. What's with the Canada people? You know why they all crochet?
Which Rosie?
Here.
Oh, Nona. Yeah, that's where Canadian Crocheter heard about us.
Yes, and because
I'm just going to the closest link.
I know, but you know why? It occurred to me why they all knit and crochet.
Because it's freaking cold there.
And why do we do so much stuff here in the summertime?
Because
it's
Arizona
freaking
air
hot.
conditioning is ridiculous.
Yeah, you go places,
Ridiculous.
everybody carries a sweater because you gotta have a sweater on, otherwise you're freezing.
And you can see how pink I am, and that's just for walking like 2 blocks.
You don't live 2 blocks away.
No, I only walk 2 blocks because you sent Ed to pick me up.
Because it's too hot for you to be
I know.
walking that far.
And my daughter only will go out and she'll just, oh, I want to swim. 20 minutes later, 40 minutes later, if you're lucky, she's like, I'm done. Because they're just worn out. It just,
The heat.
the heat. My son has been having so many headaches. And we hydrate, but still it's crazy. So anyway, we've gotten a little bit of activity in our Ravelry group. We do have a group on Ravelry. It's not very active. I'm not the Cal person, the crochet along, knit along, make along. I'm not running those kind of threads.
And I know that you said that I'm on there as Moggy Kitty, but am I supposed to actually go on and look at that?
Mom, that's where you go and you find patterns to follow.
Well,
And that's
listen,
where you get-
I can't follow a pattern until I finish something because I'm having trouble finishing even one thing. Although I'm getting close, guys.
But that's part of it. Like, I'm having cast-on-itis. I desperately want to cast on a sweater. I have 2 sweaters that are not finished, but I desperately want to cast on a new sweater. So I have a couple patterns. I'll talk about them today, but
And those are called whips.
works in progress once you cast them on.
I know this. I'm learning the lingo, guys.
She's coming up in the world. So anyway, we've had a little
We're
bit of
sitting real close. Get
activity in Ravelry, and since there's one thread on there from a long time ago, I thought we'd have more people at that point. I've had some prizes sitting off in the sidelines. I just pulled names today on the wonderful magic mystery name puller, and I'm going to show you prizes
I have
for
no
Ravelry.
idea what you're talking about, but
So,
it's like a list that you get of who.
There are different
who did
apps,
things.
and you
Yeah.
punch in, like you can do one through YouTube in the comments, and it randomly picks winners.
Okay, this is something I was going to talk to you about, young lady.
What?
I do not understand you people in all your apps. Okay, because.
Well, you have more apps than I do.
Aha, want to see? Look
Yeah.
at I have a couple here, like 6, and here's 3, and here's a couple, and here's history plant. Oh, history. There's my Animal Planet.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then you got a bunch on that page. And is that
And,
it? Oh,
yeah.
that's it. Okay.
Because I don't have so many apps, and
You still have a lot more than I do.
oh, you have a lot of
No,
apps.
I
you
don't.
You understand about where all these apps are.
No,
Every time
I have this page, and then I have a couple of things in here. Okay.
But see, people say, Aunt Ruthie,
Mm-hmm.
Ed's sister, sent me a whole bunch of links and said, I really thought maybe you'd like to have this list of knitting stuff. And she said, you can just download all these apps.
Your phone is too old to download all those apps. You don't have the memory. But people who have the current phones have like 4, 5, 6 times the memory that you do, so they can run a lot more apps.
I don't have time to look at all these apps.
There are a
Because
lot of
I'm
people
too
who are
busy.
just in it all the time, and we're not like that.
No, I'm too busy because right now I'm trying to knit or I'm trying to do something, and I'm trying to watch or listen.
The only
To
reason I have a couple of these
these
apps
people.
downloaded is because, like, I got coupons through Verizon, but I had to download this Starbucks app to actually use it. But then when I was in the store, they couldn't figure it out, so I still couldn't use it. That annoyed me. So that bonus for being in Verizon really doesn't pay off. Anyway, yeah. Some people are on their phones a lot more than we are. Some people are watch TV more than we are. I listen to books
Audiobooks.
while I knit or crochet. I think also it takes us longer to do certain things.
Well, right, because of our visual problems. Yeah.
By the way, I know a number of people on here. There are women that I've seen, and I've reached out to them because I could tell that they were visually impaired when they didn't say it on their podcast.
Yeah.
And no, we're tweaked today so that you're not in the dark.
Now I'm getting reflection from my glasses. I will.
Well, then take them off.
Oh, I can't. Now see what you did? I'll hold
Well,
it.
then stop you moving it around. You're not the videographer.
I was only supposed to be a guest on here one time. How did I get on this
Because
every
you liked
single
it.
week? Oh, really? I like listening to her say, Mother, will you hurry up and quit
Knock it off.
making a mistake and do this? Yeah.
So
What are you making this
we're
week?
not talking about this yet. We're not done with the other stuff. Knock it off. Okay, here are the people. I will send you a message through Ravelry. I'm going to go over the prizes that I pulled from the Ravelry group.
this is
I
a
no
prize
longer
day?
care how many people we have on the Ravelry group. There are some people that are hardcore, original Yarn Closet followers who do a lot in there on the finished objects and the work in progresses. And I have a link in there if you want to do a swap and have me crank you tubes. I will crank tubes for swaps. That's fine. But yeah, let's just send out a couple prizes because people love prizes.
Let's do it.
There are people in Tucson that are on our group, and it's funny because Dudens, Arizona is one of the prize winners, and Crochet Away 96 is the other. And I believe they've been in the group since early times. It says here since September of 2018.
And they're Tucson people, huh?
Yeah, there's more than one Tucson people. So this is what the Tucson lady, I'm assuming it's a lady, I shouldn't, will get when she responds to the email I sent her. And won't that be fabulous? Because it'll be
Did she get that
so
big?
nice. She gets this sock
Let me
bag
see it.
from
Close up.
Darn
Oh.
Yarn, Minnesota, which is actually a bag maker out of Wisconsin. They now live in Wisconsin. But it's got 2 sections with this zippered pocket in between. A lot of people like that. A lot of people have one sock on each
To
side.
put
I
the
don't
little-
like it. It's not my favorite.
I like to have pockets inside where I can put the little things
Oh, wait,
like
this is not the Arizona lady. This is the crochet lady. We'll get this one. Okay.
Okay.
And then a 50-gram Highland Twist Strawberry Fields. This is a sock tube. You just pull from one side and it will unravel like a sock blank. So you get some yarn, you get a bag, you get your Growly Bear unscented lip balm. Our light is so different this time of day. You get your bath bomb, Pink Zen, a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook that my husband made. It's one of a kind. And then if you do knit, this is a needle holder also. They matched. I had to send them. They matched.
A needle holder for the small.
No, for like needles like you're using.
Oh, let me see it.
So you stick them through here, and then they hold together. So you can stick pretty decent sized ones.
Oh, cute. See, I'm learning all this stuff because I wasn't a knitter. For those people who don't know,
A little thank you card, because they're fun to throw in your bag and write notes on. And then stitch markers in the lovely little heart-shaped container. This is a Braille stitch marker. It is a Braille clothing tag that I put on one of those little safety pin style.
clips.
And then a couple of these little clips if you need to sew things together. I like them. And then a very small stitch holder. Because whenever I do beginning of rounds, I always make those ones smaller. So that will go to Crochet Away 96. Now, our Tucson lady is getting a bag from, we don't know because I got this from a D-stash.
Look at on here. What does that say?
ST. It says ST. Who knows what that is? But it's a lovely little bag.
Cute.
Here's I love to use these luggage tags so I can write stuff and remind myself of what's
because
going
you can
on.
write the name of the pattern that you're using so you can look it up.
Or
on
the
your phone.
modifications if you're using a different size, something or other. These are fun, especially because nobody's getting younger. You put, when you're doing a pattern, it's magnetized, but you can put the pattern so you can, if you've got a chart to read, you can figure out which row you're on in the chart. You know,
Cute.
okay. The thank you card. The Growly Bear lip balm.
I think this is too white.
The balm. No, it's just that the lighting is so different today and we're getting such bad reflection off your skylight.
I know.
The
All right, next
needle
week I'll
holder,
cover it,
your own stitch marker set,
which you can put your breath mints in after.
a lovely cup from my husband.
Let me see this. Nice. He does.
You have your own stuff. You've given back a bunch of stuff. And then this is an actual sock blank because some people were asking me what these sock blanks were because we have a lot of crocheters.
Let me see that.
Okay, a sock blank is when someone has a knit up section of stockinette and then they paint on them. They spray paint, they hand paint, whatever. And then you unravel the yarn from one end. And this one is double, so if you wanted to pull it apart and do 2 at a time socks, that would be really easy. Or you pull it apart and you use it. It's just hand-dyed yarn.
Can you just finish off the edges and the end and use that as a scarf?
Well, it's not really long enough.
Oh, put
Mom,
it
they're
around
not long enough. You and your dang scarves. See, it's not long enough. A scarf is supposed to be long.
Don't mess my hair up.
You could maybe work it together and have it be a cowl.
Yes. See, isn't that?
That's not a scarf, that's a cowl.
Well, whatever.
And,
It's really cute, though.
yeah. So that's a little fun prize for our,
Did she get these?
no, those are mine. For the Tucson lady. So you can hold those for the shipping sponsor, and I'll get you addresses. And those will go out this week if I hear back. Typically, we'll hold a prize for 2 weeks. If we don't hear from you, we move on. We can't stay organized for longer than that. I don't know why anyone thinks we can. I have a 4-year-old, and I'm old.
She could be 48.
I know, it's ridiculous. So I wanted to show you, remember I mentioned 2 at a time socks?
Yeah.
Okay, the reason I have the 40-inch, 40 centimeter, whatever, the long sock needles, is because some people use them to
Careful,
knit.
you're going to poke me
I'm
in the
not
eye.
going to poke you. I'm not that close. They do 2 at a time socks in Magic Loop. Well, I wanted to show you what.
You're doing 2 socks, totally.
Yeah.
All right.
So in your Magic Loop, you'd have a sock with one attached to one ball and a sock attached to one ball over here. So you do 1 row on this sock, the 1 row on that sock, the 1 row on this sock, the 1 row on that sock.
I'm never
So
doing
you
that.
finish them at the same time because there's a thing called second sock syndrome where people will get done with 1 sock and that's like finishing a pattern. Why would you do it again? Because you have 2 feet.
Oh, cute, because you have 2
So
feet.
second sock syndrome is you get 1 sock done and then it takes you 6 months to do the other sock.
See, you're cut off in this. So we can
I know,
only
but
see-
it's because I'm sitting a little bit
Well,
close,
then
and it's
sit over
fine.
by-
It's
sit over by
fine.
me.
Nobody cares. They all just are like, "Stop touching your hair." I can't
Yeah.
help it. I touch my hair a lot
And
'cause I
don't
never
mess my
brush it.
hair up because we have to go
I
out today
didn't touch your
and see
hair.
have these bad roots.
So I was gonna show people in the instructional portion what a sock tube knitter does to knit 2 at a time.
So it started out as a
These
tube.
are shorties. This is my little shorty tube. And on one end, I knit with my, there's no nylon in this light purple, but I don't need it. This is just my cuff. Then I knit the cuff over here. Then I knit this heel here. Then I knit this heel here. And now I will weave in 2, 1 on each side, long needles to do magic loop because that's how I'm going to finish the toes. And there is 1 row in between there. I will snip it and I will pick it apart and I will have 2 socks.
You will snip what? The row that's in
Yes,
between?
the row that's in between.
You're going to cut that and it's not going to make the whole thing ravel.
No. Knitting doesn't unravel easily this way when you're knitting. It unravels straight down. If you drop a stitch, it will unravel straight down. It won't unravel to the
telling you a
sides.
lie.
No, I'm telling you the truth. So then I will just finish the toes, and that's how I do 2 at a time with sock tubes. I've never seen anyone else do this. This really is my thing.
It's a very clever idea.
And it gets it done fast because if I only do 1 sock all the way from beginning to end, then it takes me forever to get the second one. Doing it this way, I'm much more motivated to get to that point. And in that same vein, y'all thought I was crazy last week when I showed, or maybe I didn't show. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to show videos through Patreon and do other things. So I had a pair of socks. They were slightly different from heel to toe, and they were slightly different from cuff. This is a folded over hem to cuff. So what I did is I wove in my 2 needles, just like on that one, cut in between. Now, all I've got to do is put a cuff here, and I'm going to use red, and I'm going to have a shorty pair of socks, because I really only do shorties. And then I'm already in the middle of finishing the toe on this one, and then I will just put in a heel. So I'm taking one pair of long socks and making 2 shorties. Because the bottom line is, everybody has this thing where your toe needs to be 2 rows of stockinette, then every other row is stockinette, and you decrease. People, if you need to add an inch, just knit extra rows in stockinette. So my toe is going to be more red, and that's fine.
Because who's going to see your toe anyway?
Well, who cares? And they're for me, and
Yeah.
it gives me that extra length that I need, so I am able to do a little sock surgery and get an extra pair out of the deal. Because I'm looking to get pairs of socks fast, because I am running through them like a madwoman. I'm almost always in sock foot.
And why are you getting holes in your socks that you then have to mend? Because of all the tile we have.
Well, yeah, and initially I used some yarn that didn't have nylon in it, and I didn't realize that. But anyway, that's how I'm doing it fasty fast. And so then, like today, here's another small sock tube. It's not super huge, but I'm going to make 2 socks out of this. So I've got my 9-inch on here. Because I'm really finding the 9-inch to be fun and fast at doing the ribbing. But I still prefer the magic loop for the toes and the heels for the decreases. But anyway, so I'm making some progress there. So I've just been in sock zone all week.
Sock zone.
And because of that, I've been just so excited to do some. I want to get back to sweater 2019.
You've enjoyed doing sweaters more than anything.
I really have.
And you thought you wouldn't.
I didn't think I would. I thought it'd be too complicated. Now, I haven't really done much in patterns, but I wouldn't wear that kind of thing either. That's not my style. So it's finding people who do patterns that have interesting techniques that I can manage more easily. There are certain techniques that are challenging. I came across this lady. Can they see that?
No, tip it down a little bit.
There, is that better?
No.
Elizabeth Smith. It's called Stevie. It's a very simple pattern. It's $6, I believe. It's a short
Elizabeth
sleeve.
Smith knits.
Yeah, they don't have to nail that. It's a short sleeve raglan, top down. But instead of short rows in the back to do shaping, because you know how in sweaters you usually have a few extra rows here
Yeah,
so that your collar comes up here.
yeah.
Instead of short rows, which is you'd be working in the round and you'd work part of the row and then come back and part of the row and come back. Well, then think about it. You have that little bit of a line from where you've done the short rows. People get gaps. I get weird little bumps, and I just don't like it. So her construction is you're not knitting the front to begin with. You cast on and you knit through the back for a number of rows to give those extra rows, and then you connect into the front. So there's no short row shaping. To me, I find that much easier, and then you don't have those couple little bumps that I'm not good. I'm not good with short rows. It's this whole thing called wrap and turn, and it's a challenge.
Lot of terms
Yes.
to learn. What else?
So that was fun. She also had a free pattern for a similar sweater that I downloaded, because once again, if you go on Ravelry, that's probably the best resource, although I'm not a fan. I don't find it easy to see or to maneuver, but it is probably the best resource for patterns. So then one of the other ones that I found was through Lion Brand, which has also changed the way they do it. I'm not a fan of it anymore. And it's called the Flora Raglan Cardigan. It was a free pattern. I ended up with some yarn calls Feels Like Butter, It's made out of polyester, so that'll never die. But it would be a fast knit because it's a 5 or 6 weight. And so here is the
Yeah,
picture.
turn it that way. You see there.
There's the picture. It's a cute little cardigan, raglan style. I like making those. I don't mind if it's knit flat because I'm a backwards knitter. A lot of people don't like to purl. It slows them down. Well, backwards knitting, you're not turning. You're just doing, you did a few of those. And I find it really,
By accident.
yeah, I find it easy and fast and fun. And so once I get through a few more pairs of socks, I will probably be starting a sweater or two, which will be very difficult to work on unless I'm in freezy cold air conditioning, because it gets hot. And my husband gets cold so easily now that the house is so hot. The kids are complaining. I just ordered 2 more cooling mats that they can lay on so they can fall asleep faster.
Okay, so a couple of years ago, I got these cooling mats. They're about like this wide and about this tall, fold in half. And they feel kind of hard when you get them. You order them.
They are hard and they
Yeah.
stay hard, and so they're not real comfortable, and they are only cold for maybe
20 minutes.
20 minutes, maybe.
Right.
And they're not super cold.
But they're not cold. So you get them and they just feel like, I don't know what this is. And then you lay back against it in a chair because you got a backache. Oh my gosh. And magically, your body does something, and magic happens, and this pad gets cold.
But it doesn't get super cold. It's
No.
not as cold as an ice pack,
No. And
but it'll cool your body temperature off.
And so you don't have to put a towel
Right.
between. So it's really good to use with kids. It's not going to be too cold that it's going to damage tissue. This is a cool thing to have in the car, because if you've got a kid in the car who's in the back seat and they say, "Oh, it's hot in there, I can't stand it," you just throw one at them and say, "Well, lay against this." They lay against it, and within a minute, it's getting cold, and it's just very relaxing. Within 20 minutes, the cold is gone. You just take it out, put the other one in back of you, you know. This is a really neat
So
thing.
I found
and they're reusable.
these, they're actually for pets, and they're soft. They're the same thing, but they're made out of a slightly different material. They stay cold longer. They're not super cold, so you don't need a cover. They're washable, but they're softer. So I think my
So
daughter
you
will
could
like
put
that
it
better.
maybe on your pillow, because
And then I got one of these sheet things for my daughter. It's like a blanket sheet that's supposed to have cooling technology.
she is just a little sweat monster at night.
Yeah,
Yeah, she is.
yeah.
She just sweats, you know, people who just sweat at night. Yeah.
Connor was like that when he was her age, and Jared is like that and always has been.
And here, well, July is now coming, but what do I do on June 15th?
I don't know.
She doesn't know this. She doesn't know me. Did we just meet, for God's sake? On June 15th, I take the flannel sheets off the bed.
Oh, for God's sakes, you and the flippin' flannel.
I have the heavyweight flannel sheets, and they stay on my bed from September 15th until June 15th.
And it drives her nuts to dog sit at my house, or now, let's be honest, pet sit, because we've got a zoo. Because I don't use top sheets at my house.
Young people don't use top sheets. I
I use
saw that.
fitted sheets and comforters. I'm also looking into getting what they call Beddy. It's ridiculously expensive.
What is?
Beddy.
And
So
what is it?
it's a fitted sheet that goes over the mattress, and then it unzips. You crawl under, and it's got the cozy comforter, but in the morning for the kids, all they gotta do is zip it back up
And their bed's
and their
made?
bed's made. But some of them have some of this cooling technology fabrics, so when I have to go for another set of sheets, and I don't have a lot of extras, so I'll take my sheets off, I'll wash them, I'll put them back on. I don't like have a lot of extras, and I'm getting close. So whenever I decide to do that again, I'm gonna do that all in one thing for the kids.
So Grandma Margaret, who was a lady who was like, we called her Grandma Margaret, she wasn't related, and she used to say, you do not need to have a linen closet with 12 of everything in there. You know, she said, if you have 2 people in your family, and if you're married and you sleep in the same bed, she said you need 1 set of sheets to put on your bed. At most, have a second set of sheets. Well, so I have the summer ones, the real lightweight, and then I have my heavy flannel. And Ed does not like my heavy flannel, but that he puts up with, because he has a fan on his side of the room. And
I looked into some of the new
Yeah.
cooling technology things
Yeah.
that they have, but I'm not spending $400 for some they have, heated blankets, they now have cooling blankets. So you can put a cooling blanket on your bed and turn it on and it'll cool your bed. But they're very expensive. I'm waiting until
how
those are
lazy
cheaper.
are we getting that we can't go over and just flick the fan on? So the
I
other
actually,
day,
sometimes our air conditioning is colder at night than it is during the day.
because it cools down at night, maybe outside.
No,
so
and
that-
I make it colder though because people do sweat at night
Oh, yeah.
and have a hard time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I turn ours down at night because Ed likes to have it really cool. In the wintertime, I would like to have the window open, and I would like to have it 20 below zero, but it doesn't get like that here. That's it.
So that's me. What are you doing?
I was just going to tell you something that you know those weighted blankets? Everybody says that's the big thing.
So
now.
you can crochet a weighted blanket. I've crocheted a number of them because most weighted blankets are somewhere between 8. They used to be between like 8 and 15 pounds. And so I would crochet weighted blankets for kids with multiple strands of yarn, heavier weight yarns. And I averaged somewhere between 9 and 12 pounds per blanket. They don't have to be bed-size blankets. They just have to be enough to cover their chest. And the people I have made them for really do like them.
Yes. All right. So they say that kids with autism or something like that, or people with anxiety, they like to take the weighted blanket on them when they go to sleep. I do. I cannot lay down and take a nap and just lay down on the
But she doesn't
bed.
get weighted blankets because, hello, people,
Quilts.
quilts.
Just fold
They're
a quilt,
heavy.
half, put it on you. Okay, so I'm at the store the other day, and I was walking down this aisle, and it said, it was at Big Lots, and there's an end cap, and the end cap had weighted blankets on sale for $39.99. Now, those things are pretty dang expensive.
But
So-
how heavy was it?
It was heavy. And so I took the thing,
Well,
I didn't buy it. Now, just wait and listen to me. Don't
But what is the actual poundage?
Well, how did I know? Because I
Because
didn't look.
that would be informational. Okay.
You know what? If you need to know that information, write to Laura, and I'll have my
Don't you
husband take.
dare write into me.
Write to Laura, and I'll have my husband take me over to Big Lots because I like Big Lots. Anyway, so it comes in this big plastic thing. So I'm taking it off, thinking, "Holy crap, this thing is heavy!" All folded up into this like this. Hand wash only. Oh, give me a break. Who is going to hand wash a big heavy blanket? And then you have to line dry.
Because
First
the
of all, where's
crochet
the
ones,
lines? Who has lines?
you can throw it in the washer and the
Yeah.
dryer, and it's not
Yeah.
going to affect
Yeah.
the weight.
Okay, so here's what I'm doing. So remember, guys, when I got this and I
So
said,
now you're up to 3 of those. Those are called cakes. 'Cause see how it looks like a
Yes.
cake?
And I forgot to save the paper on the back, so I couldn't tell what it was. But, so I went over to Joann's because they were having a sale. And this is what this is. Okay, you got to see this because the colors, it's tonal, because Laura told me that.
No, Mom.
Oh, it's not tonal?
This is sort of tonal, but what this is called is a gradient.
Oh,
Tonal
whatever.
means one color with some variation in it.
Oh, well, this is just
But
darker,
this
lighter,
is
lighter,
gradient.
lighter.
It's a gradient of color.
Okay, but look at how far I am on it. It's
So
gonna
this
be,
is one complete cake and a little.
and then a little bit
Because
more.
you've done like,
Yeah, here's where it ended.
okay.
And so then I thought, oh, you know what?
You're going to, no, don't just tie it.
No, I'm not going to tie it. Then I'm going to go in, but I'm going to go in like this, one stitch in and then backward.
No, you're going to look up how to properly weave in your ends.
You want to bet? So then, because she said, and what is it? So I go over to Joann's and look, here it is. It was at Joann's. It was on sale. And I think I'm doing a pretty nice job.
Yeah, you are. You
I
are.
can see a couple places
But
where...
once you wash it or block it,
It would be smaller or bigger?
it oftentimes will kind of take care of those little blips.
Okay, but what I'm trying to do is just get it long enough to cover Prue for, like, just from her feet up to her. Well, although she likes to have stuff over her
She
head.
gets annoyed if it only covers her feet and legs and just a little bit of her torso.
Okay, so we
Because
know
we
how
were just there today.
we know how tall she is. And she's a strange little girl, cute or not.
She's not strange.
She is. She is got a personality that is dynamite, and she is just funnier than heck. So she likes to have she doesn't wear glasses.
They
She-
just make her look like me.
Yeah, so she just puts on fake ones to look like Mom. But anyway, so this is what it was. It's this Bernat baby blanket Doppler or something. What does that say? Dappled.
Dappled.
Dappled. Well, we both have our low vision, so this is tricky because we need to have our magnifiers.
Oh, so what I was saying earlier before you interrupted me was I've noticed a number of women, and I could tell
I've only
From their
I
podcasts.
only interrupt you because you interrupt me, and we both speak over each other.
well, where do you think I learned it? I could tell just from the way they podcast that they had vision problems, and so I talked to them.
By phone.
Someone has, no, online, typing. Someone's asked about my Braille stitch markers, and I've contacted her. Please just send me your address, and I'll send you a little set. I make them myself.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you know Braille and everything.
But I don't make them. I buy the components and I put them together. I'm not making metal Braille. I don't do that.
So my sister-in-law said that, I could, because I'm losing my vision, she said, so then I can just learn Braille. And I'm not going to learn Braille because I'm not going to go try to find Braille.
No, the reason you learn Braille is to know enough to do labels. So you can label red things with R's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a good question. So if I wanted to send my friend in Minnesota a Christmas card, and I Braille a Christmas card,
Yeah.
well, first of all, she wouldn't know what it's saying. She wouldn't
So
know if
you
I'm
can
saying,
buy Braille with large print. So the large print letters are there and the Braille letters are there, and then you just take the stickers and you put them together.
Yeah. So then here's the envelope, and I put the card in the
Well, you're
envelope.
not brailing the outside of the card, you're writing it. Or you're getting someone to write it for you.
That's what I'm saying, because what would I do? Put a Braille,
No.
put her name on
Braille is dying, people are stupid. The only thing that Braille is used
I
for
just
these days
read
is...
that only 10% of the people who are blind now use Braille or even know Braille anymore,
Right.
because everything is speak into it, and you just say, Alexa, do something for me. I don't know what Alexa is.
Okay.
It's something you tell her to.
It's a little box thing that
Yeah.
you can get, and you can talk to it. It's like talking to...
Turn on the lights. I saw that on TV.
Yes, if you have the proper technology in your house, you can get Alexa tied into your lights, your all kinds of stuff.
Not
I
gonna
think
make
it's creepy.
It's not going to make coffee for you, right?
It might,
And
depending on the coffee machine,
but
yes.
it can't bring it to you. And no. Okay.
No. So, yeah, only 10% of people know Braille and are
it's
learning
dying
Braille.
out
It's
now
dying
because
of technology, voice-activated technology.
Computers speak into it.
Have it speak back to you. It's still hard to follow things when you get the page spoken back to you. It's still hard to follow certain things.
But it's really kind of cool because I found on the phone that I can set it up.
I've been showing her for years.
And you can have like a lady from Spain speak.
Oh my God, mine's a British man or an Irish man. Are you kidding me?
I know. You can have
Baby.
a lady from Spain and she reads you a story or something, you know. Well, I don't know Spanish, so I don't know what she's saying, but it sounds so nice.
Oh my
But
God.
then it does. But then in their language.
Yes.
But if you wanted to speak to you in English, but you know what I mean, not English, but in
English with an accent.
English with an accent.
Yeah, you can only get certain kinds of accents, like Australian or Irish or Scottish or English.
Australian.
Yeah.
Oh, and a guy from Australia, let me tell you, he can read to me anytime.
What was I just going to tell you? Do you know about the audio description movies on Netflix? I listen to them all the time.
On Netflix?
So you go into Netflix and you choose the audio description, English audio description, instead of just English. And it actually tells you what's happening on the screen. You don't miss anything. And in some instances, you actually catch more of what's going on in the plot, because some of the nuances and stuff, when your eyesight's bad, you just completely miss. So it will tell you the nuances of what's happening, what's going on, you know.
Hey, did you ever watch Last Tango in Halifax?
Yes.
I loved that because I love anything, you know, in another country. I think that's kind of fun. Okay, so the lady who was the older lady who married the older gentleman. Yeah. Do you know she's got another thing, and it's called Years to Years, and it's on BBC One. It's BBC Two, but broadcast through BBC One. I can't get it, but so I have to figure out how to get that. Ed'll figure it out, and he'll just say,
BritBox, it's an app.
"Oh, with this app business again."
It's like Netflix.
BritBox.
It's like Netflix for all the British shows.
You know, I saw that you think because my sight is bad that I can't see when you are rolling your eyes at me or something, but
No,
trust me, I can.
I can tell when my daughter's rolling her eyes at me, even if I can't see them. It's just her demeanor,
Oh, yeah.
which is fun at 4. Thank God I'm going to be old and won't care when she's a teenager. What else? What other knitting-related items do you have this week?
Well, this was it. You know what? But would you like me to show them the little purple short-sleeved sweater that you knit for me?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on a minute.
So this was my first top-down raglan sweater that I knit out of one of the purple heathered Knit Picks Shetland wools. You know what I'm talking about. Wool of the Andes. And there was a tutorial by Very Pink Knits. She's got some great tutorials that walked you through the pattern step by step. So for a first more difficult pattern, instead of just 2 pieces that were seamed, it was fabulous to be able to sit there and walk through the tutorial with her. Made understanding and reading through the pattern much easier because I found that confusing. Anyway, so I made it, but I was a little confused on my gauge. And then I wasn't thinking at the time about the change in my measurements post-surgery because I've lost the doctor just told me I lost 5 to 5.5 inches off my chest measurement at the fullest part of my chest. It's a gone. And I'm fine with it being gone. I like it being gone. There's so many benefits. Still recovering. It also means I can make the smaller sweaters. Hallelujah. But in making the larger size that I needed at that point, you know, that's different. And it just hung a little weird on me. But it fits my mom. It fits her really nicely. It hits her in the waist, just in the right spot, so it's not cropped on her.
Are you talking about this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of problems, but I don't know that you can really tell.
But wait a minute, because I have to put on my.
Oh,
I like purple, so here's my purple glasses. Okay, look.
Now just move over, but don't just sit down. Don't do that. Just move over. Don't just sit down.
See the lace?
See, it's a Lion brand. It's a free cardigan, cropped cardigan is I think what they call it, raglan cardigan. And, you know, so you can wear it differently. Now, if you wanted to get a little frog here, you could sew on a little frog, and then that would help keep it closed here.
Yes.
Because on me, I found it was sliding a little bit, and I found that the arms were a little bit wide on me, although they fit you really nicely and they hit at a decent spot.
Because I have wider arms.
Yeah.
I have grandma arms.
Yeah. And so I think it fits you really nicely. It hits at just the perfect spot. Now, some of the raglans are not quite as neat as they could be, like right here and a couple on the back. But honestly, I don't think most people are going to notice that.
No.
No.
And I think it's adorable.
And I backwards knit it because it is stockinette. So I knit and then backwards knit for purling. And it's pretty decent. I like it. It was fun.
Yeah. I'm going out to a murder mystery dinner theater tonight at the Gaslight Music Hall. And it was written by Mike Urema, who is the son of
Crowley Bear Soap Company in Mayer, Arizona.
Well, he's not the son of the company. He's the son of
she is the
Cheryl. Cheryl. Okay, Cheryl Curry.
I just want to chop my hair off.
No. And I do have a frog. Actually, I have a silver one and a gold one. I think the silver would be prettier. Anyway, but I'm going to put that on because I'm wearing this tonight. See
That's good.
See my purple glasses? Yeah.
The side is too big.
On these?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well. I change my lenses frequently, every few months because of my vision problems.
She has worse vision than I do at this point. She just doesn't like to admit it. Because you feel very, very vulnerable.
Yeah.
You feel, especially as a woman, you feel very vulnerable.
And you know, I have that white cane. Oh, God, I hate that thing. Okay, to go walking, use the heaviest one, the shorter one. Then if you, come across a javelina, which is a wild boar here for walking, you can just, hit it.
But you have a stability cane in a white cane, so it's not like the long, fast walking. And people don't tap anymore. They don't teach that anymore. No. You get rolling balls or rolling tips at the end of your canes, and you just go back and forth.
Yeah. But,
a lot of people don't know what it is.
I shouldn't say this, should I? I'm saying it anyway. Okay. But you use that white cane, you know what it does? It makes people look at us like, I can't talk to her. What, we're deaf because we also can't
People
see?
assume we're going to whack them with it.
Or that we're stupid. People who...
Not stupid, but mentally challenged. Let me try to be politically correct. They assume that if you are blind, you are also mentally challenged, that you have more than just blindness affecting you. You know what I'm saying?
So one day, this week, we were talking about something, and Ed was trying to show me, and I couldn't get it. I didn't have on the right glasses. I had these. These are just single vision for, I focus on things farther away with these. Anyway, I have all these glasses, 57 pairs of glasses or something. And so I just wasn't getting it. And I said, well, where's my glasses? Where's my glasses? Okay, so, and then this pair goes around my neck, usually, and then these are a
Do you
different
want one of
strength
those? Don't you have one of those magnet pins with the circle that you can hang your glasses from?
No. You can get them at Joann's.
I thought you had one of those. I think I might have one of those.
No, I had one. I think I gave it to somebody who needed it. Maybe Margaret.
Do you want mine?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, I actually would. So I had to go
Because
find
I have a
this.
4-year-old and she'll just yank it off me.
Yeah, and so I was trying to explain to him. I said, I can't see the detail that you're trying to show me. Just a minute. Let me go find my other glasses. I need a certain strength of glasses I know to do this. And Ed is really funny guy. Very quiet. He's
No
nice.
one would ever say Ed is a really funny guy. That is not the way people would describe him.
No.
Ed is dry.
Very. But he cracks me up, some of the things he does. Because I know he's actually serious. But it just comes out and I laugh at him. So you know what he said to me? So he says, you know, remember how we saw that huge welcome sign? It was like standing up 5 feet or something at Hobby Lobby. And I said, oh, wouldn't this be nice right next to the door? Because you can just set it at an angle by the door. And then at Christmas, turn it around and do like Merry Christmas or something on the back of it and paint it. And we didn't get it that day. And he said, you don't have room to put one more thing by that door. You've already got some flowers out there and you've got some plants, and now you're putting Christmas cactus out there. It's not Christmas. You got 3 Christmas cactus. I didn't even think that he would notice that.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, you know, I was thinking maybe you could just print Helen Keller lives here. I said, what? That is insulting to me. And I was trying not to laugh because I knew he was trying to be funny. And he said, well, maybe no, because she also couldn't hear.
Wait,
Well,
you can't hear. You have hearing aids.
I have hearing aids, but she was both blind and deaf.
I know.
And he said, maybe we should just say, welcome to Helen Kellerville. I said, whatever. I had to go in the other room because I had to laugh. And I didn't want him to hear me laughing because I knew he was trying to
Yeah.
be funny. He was trying to crack me up. And I just wasn't in the mood to be cracked up at that moment. But I told him later on, I said, that really was kind of funny.
Oh, jeez.
And he said, well, half the time I'm trying to show you something and you say, mm-hmm. Well, is that any different than a husband? Oh, hey, how do I look? Say that to me. You're the
Oh, hey,
wife.
how do you look?
Oh, yeah, just fine. Now ask me, is that color good on me?
Is this color good on me?
Yeah, yeah. Did I once look at you? No. And that's what husbands do. At least ones I've had.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are things they
But
don't like
isn't
about
this
us.
cute?
There are things we don't like about them.
Yeah.
Yes. There will be no more husbands in my world.
Pinky swear.
No more husbands.
Pinky swear, pinky swear. Okay.
Um,
I'm going to wear this tonight.
Yeah.
Because this is really cute.
and I like this short sleeve right above the elbow kind of
Yeah.
thing. It's a good length. I like to, if you do get cold, you can layer it during winter because it does get cold here in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Um,
And you go
it's also
in.
easier and faster to knit.
Oh, and you know what? Actually, I put it on over a long-sleeved yellow jersey knit, and it cute. Then I thought, if I had a pin that was on it that had the two colors together, I don't like jewelry. I don't like jewelry, and so it doesn't look good on me. But I was in a quilt group that used to make pins, and we would take little teeny snippets. We'd take hearts that were, I don't know what they were, cardboard or something, and then we would just put this glue stuff on. We put these little tiny snippets and stuff. Patchwork, cuter than heck. Put a little glue a pin on the back. I could do that again.
Sure.
Right after I finish the pink blanket, and as soon as I'm done with the pink blanket, then I'm doing the reader. Oh, okay, so Charmed Grammy. So Lynette has these cute grandchildren. One didn't want to be on, one did. And so she had her grandchildren on this week. Did anybody see that? Cute little girl, this long hair. And she says to the little girl, now put this on. They're called readers. That's what I'm doing next. And it's like long, like a scarf almost, and then goes over.
It is a scarf. It is a scarf with pockets.
Oh, I know that. It's my story. And so then down the back it goes like this to kind of warm your back a little bit. She has the little girl stand up, and the little girl puts her arms out like this. Oh, I almost cried. It was so cute. So I told her, I said, beautiful little girl. She crochets though, she doesn't knit. So she's watching, she's gonna see how are you figuring out a pattern for me to knit so that it looks like her crocheted one.
Well, it's not going to look like crochet. It's going to look knit.
Right.
But it's a simple knit pattern that you can follow.
Oh, that was a little bit snarky there that
That was not snarky. That was true because every pattern I came up with, you're like, I don't want to try that. I don't want to try that.
I don't want 19 different stitches or SLs and KOs and I don't know, whatever. There's too many things I have to think about. Just say, knit it, purl it. Oh, that moss stitch. Moss stitch has another name. What was the other name?
In crochet, it's also called a linen stitch.
No, in knitting.
I don't know the other name in knitting.
Somebody write in and tell her what the other name is because I can't remember it right now.
But the funny thing is, about a year and a half ago, I made a lovely moss stitch shawl in crochet. Out of relatively thin yarn, I used like a 4.0 millimeter needle.
It's a pretty stitch.
And it was fabulous. I loved it. I tried recently to do that again. Could not, for the life of me, make it out well enough to do it. Couldn't follow it.
I think it's something about like.
No, I know what the stitch is, but I
there's
couldn't.
another name.
I had to see enough of it and feel it to be able to alternate. Because that's the thing. In crochet, sure, I could crochet sweaters. I'm a really good crocheter. But there's an awful lot of patterning things to follow and marking things to follow. And I find it more complicated to follow that in crochet than I do in knitting. So for the most part, and our eyesight does get worse. The thing is, some people complain about the eyesight conversation. But people, you're not getting younger. At some point, you're going to deal with this. Whether it's...
A lot of you won't, but a lot of you will. And if you do, just don't give up.
No, just keep trying new things and finding new things and pass it along if it doesn't work for you. Because we do that all the time. And the thing is, there's a whole period of time and there's a whole group of people that will never be considered legally blind, but their vision gets crappy and they don't know how to ask the questions or what questions they're supposed to ask.
Wait a minute. Wait a
Don't
minute.
do that.
No,
Um,
I'm trying to find this thing.
what thing?
Just a minute and I'll find it. Tell your story. It's a saying that I copied off of here the other day.
Well, where did you put it?
Where would I put it? I would take a picture of it and it would be in my photos. And I can't do it with these glasses because these are the wrong ones. I'll find it. It's something about don't let perfect be the enemy of good or something like that.
Well, that was good enough.
Yeah, close enough.
I like our look with your heart first. I'm willing to end on that.
Are you?
Yeah. Because I don't have much more for this week. We pulled a couple of prizes off the Ravelry group.
What about
Showed
those?
progress, talked about some
Yeah.
sweater patterns that we like and different options for easy shaping.
Cute.
I don't know that once I figure this thing out on this lady's sweater, I don't know that I'll ever do short row shaping on a sweater again because I just don't like it. It's not my thing.
Look with
Are you done?
Look with your heart first.
Look with your heart first. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.